When you finally understand what truly belongs to you, something remarkable happens. The insults that once echoed in your mind begin to lose their power. The opinions that once kept you awake at night become distant noise. The disrespect that once felt unbearable no longer controls your emotions. This is not because people suddenly become kinder. They do not. It is because you stop giving them authority they never deserved in the first place. The Stoics believe that emotional freedom begins with one simple realization. Most of the things that disturb us are not under our control. Other people's moods, words, judgments, jealousy, ignorance, and behavior exist outside the boundaries of your will. Yet many people spend their entire lives trying to manage these uncontrollable forces. They replay conversations. They imagine perfect responses. They seek approval from people who have never intended to understand them. In doing so, they hand over the keys to their own peace. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly reminded himself that another person's actions belong to them, while his response belongs to him. This distinction may sound simple, but it changes everything. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents an opinion, an insult, or a criticism from someone else. Every day you pick up another stone because you believe you must carry what others throw at you. Eventually, the weight becomes unbearable. The Stoic simply asks a different question. Why carry stones that were never yours? Most emotional suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our interpretation of them. Someone ignores your message. Instantly, your mind invents stories. They dislike me. They are disrespecting me. I must have done something wrong. Yet none of these conclusions are facts. They are assumptions. The Stoics understood that the human mind often creates pain faster than reality ever could. This is why self-mastery begins with observing your own thoughts, instead of immediately believing them. Between every event and every reaction exists a small space. Within that space lies your freedom. Most people never notice it because they react too quickly. They allow emotion to take command before reason has even spoken. But the Stoic trains himself to pause, not because he is weak or indecisive, but because wisdom always arrives more slowly than impulse. Consider the great Roman statesman who faced public humiliation, political betrayal, and endless criticism. He understood that reputation could disappear overnight, but character could not be stolen unless willingly surrendered. Every insult offered him a choice. Would he become the angry person his enemies expected, or would he remain faithful to his principles? Every calm response became a victory greater than any argument he could have won. Many people mistake emotional control for emotional suppression. They believe Stoicism teaches you to become cold, distant, or incapable of feeling. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Stoics experienced sadness, disappointment, frustration, and grief just like everyone else. The difference was that they refused to become servants of those emotions. Feelings were visitors, not rulers. They listened to them without allowing them to dictate every decision. Think about how often people try to provoke others. Sometimes they seek attention. Sometimes they project their own insecurity. Sometimes they simply enjoy creating conflict, because conflict distracts them from their own dissatisfaction. When you react exactly as they hoped, you reward their behavior. But when you remain composed, something unexpected happens. Their power disappears. A fire cannot continue burning without fuel. This is why silence is often stronger than the perfect comeback. The modern world celebrates instant reactions. Social media encourages immediate outrage. Every disagreement becomes a performance. Every criticism demands a response. Yet the Stoics understood that not every battle deserves your attention. Every unnecessary argument consumes energy that could have been invested in becoming wiser, stronger, and more disciplined. Imagine a mountain during a violent storm. Thunder shakes the sky. Rain crashes against its surface. Fierce winds attempt to move it. Yet when the storm ends, the mountain remains exactly where it has always stood. This is the image the Stoics wanted you to carry within yourself. Let people speak. Let circumstances change. Let criticism come and go like passing weather. Your character should remain the mountain. One reason people become deeply bothered by others is that they secretly depend upon external validation. Compliments feel like proof of worth. Criticism feels like proof of failure. As long as your value depends on someone else's opinion, you will never experience lasting peace. Today they praise you. Tomorrow they ignore you. Next week they criticize you. If your identity rises and falls with every opinion, your emotional life becomes a ship without an anchor. Epictetus offered a radical solution. He advised people to stop seeking admiration altogether. Instead of asking whether others approve of you, ask whether your actions align with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. These virtues cannot be awarded by applause, nor destroyed by insults. They exist entirely within your own choices. This shift requires discipline because the human ego constantly seeks recognition. It wants to be seen, appreciated, and admired. But the Stoics recognized a dangerous trap. The more desperately you seek approval, the easier you become to manipulate. Anyone capable of giving you praise can also control you by threatening to withdraw it. Freedom begins the moment you no longer negotiate your peace in exchange for someone else's acceptance. Another powerful Stoic practice is remembering the temporary nature of everything. The person who insults you today will eventually disappear from history. The embarrassing moment you cannot stop replaying will become a forgotten memory. Even your greatest failures will one day lose their emotional intensity. Time quietly dissolves nearly everything we believe to be permanent. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the countless generations that had lived before him. Great kings, famous generals, wealthy merchants, celebrated philosophers, all eventually vanished. Their arguments ended. Their enemies disappeared. Their victories faded into history. When viewed from this perspective, many of our daily frustrations suddenly appear astonishingly small. This does not mean your life lacks importance. It means your peace is too valuable to surrender over temporary disturbances. Every hour spent obsessing over another person's behavior is an hour stolen from your own growth. Every emotional reaction that controls you delays the person you are capable of becoming. There is another truth few people are willing to accept. Sometimes the people who bother you most become your greatest teachers. They expose your impatience. They reveal your insecurity. They uncover attachments you did not know existed. Without intending to, they illuminate the parts of yourself that still require discipline. The Stoics call this transforming obstacles into opportunities. Every difficult person becomes a training partner. Every criticism becomes an exercise in humility. Every insult becomes an opportunity to strengthen emotional resilience. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" begin asking, "What quality can I develop because this happened?" That single question transforms suffering into education. Eventually, you reach a remarkable stage of maturity. You stop trying to control conversations that have already ended. You stop chasing people who have chosen to leave. You stop defending yourself against every misunderstanding. You discover that silence often protects dignity more effectively than endless explanations. People may continue judging you. They may misunderstand your intentions. They may spread false stories or underestimate your abilities. None of these things define you unless you allow them to enter your own mind. Your greatest responsibility is not managing their opinions. It is protecting your own character. Real strength is not measured by how loudly you respond. It is measured by how peacefully you remain when chaos invites you to abandon yourself. Anyone can react. Very few can remain composed when every emotion demands immediate action. The Stoic path is not about escaping difficult people. It is about becoming someone whom difficult people can no longer disturb. That transformation begins the moment you realize that your peace has never belonged to anyone else. It has always been yours to protect, yours to strengthen, and yours to keep. And once you truly understand that the world may continue making noise, but inside you there is only stillness,